So I'm going to start with a poem in honor of a course I've been doing in expressive art psychotherapy, where essentially we meet to become sacred once a month. And we're normal women, but among us are stories of mental health, of addiction, of eating disorders, of being sectioned. And we're just normal women, and to come to a place once a month where we can de-mask and de-defense ourselves and have a permission to be wild, to be real, is, to me, a really massive gift. And it feels very ancient and also very new to me. So this is in complete kind of honor of the Tamalpa. It's called the Tamalpa, and yeah, thank you for what it's brought to my life. Express, to rest. When the mind and the body simply aren't at their best, it's not another test, but a challenge into a gentle caress. Because sometimes we have to fest in our rough and our ragged and our someday haggard. Let that maggot run through your veins and claim your soul, and then claim it back. Go to the devil and yell your dreams. Rip him at the seams and then sew your own, to know that your dreams are not alone. Because sometimes we get overthrown. We get overthrown by the undertones, but we are never alone. Like the old crone, it is her nature to change, rearrange, disengage, feel underwaged and overcaged. But she still turns her page, growing wise with age and with her rage. She urges, she purges it out. She shouts from her head to her hand, to her fingertips, to her toes, because she knows what it is to be alive. That's why I thrive on the simple highs, saluting to the magpie, so it's not just about the getting bys. And when the whys become too mangled and tangled, I angle it back to express. Because I know I am simply doing my best. I make a nest within the mess. Because sometimes our minds and our bodies simply have to rest. Thank you. So next, I'm going to give you guys an invitation that after my next poem, you don't clap. I know we're British, but we're in transition, so let's try something new. I'm not saying clapping is something that we need to change, it's fine, but why not try something new? So instead, I can see if I do that. At the end, what I'd like you to do is to stand up and give a gesture as a response. And don't pre-plan it. Everything is perfect and fine and brilliant. Surprise yourself and just smack it out. Anything goes. And hold it, and I'll say breathe. We forget. We've been in our. I was. Bodies, breathe, and then I'll say release, and you can let go and sit down. So this one is about going into the woods for 4 days and seeing what I could learn about myself and seeing what nature could teach me. And it was both amazingly profound and completely hilarious, because I'm a middle-class 21st century woman who, even with the best attempt, is quite removed from nature. So I essentially was trying to embody the life of a wolf, where I wanted to howl, I wanted to be naked, I wanted to wee everywhere, and I wanted to lie naked. And I did. And it was amazingly profound and completely hilarious. So this is about this journey. From our wisdom from within, let our journeys begin. This one started with a walk. Shh. Don't talk. Or do. Both of which are true. I wanted to harness it all, to stand tall, but have my feet on the ground. To be with the trees, be gentle on my knees, and always say please and thank you to this incredible land. So into the woods I went. Okay, I took my tent, but my intentions to be bare were still there, to feel the air and to care, to love, to be and to feel completely free. I Needed a wee. Mistake number one. The stinging nettle. The master of the string, the soup, and the tea. But my God, I wish I hadn't done that wee. Experience number two. I knew that this bubbling Leo was inside, but she was tied until I tried and then was mesmerized by forgotten wisdom that arrived. So, off this bubbling Leo went with a backpack on her back. I wasn't on a horse. Full of too much stuff. But I must go seek my soul. So I want you to know while I'm in the flow that in winter I got incredibly low. I lost my mojo. See, I'm trying to combine the two, the compost loo and the YouTube, but the thing with me is that I don't quite seem to fit into our reality. It just isn't me. My mind goes... my mind goes blank. I'm as stiff as a plank. There's an internal drill, like a young boy's wank. I'm a heavy tank full of negativity. This just isn't me, so let's continue this happy journey into the woods. And the deeper into the woods I got, I soon forgot just wanting to make my foraged compote. It's not my attempt to escape from reality, but for me, this is prosperity. Because when you've been in that self-built hole and there's no way out and you shout, but that voice just echoes around your chest. You're a mess, confined within your mind, and that voice inside your head. Wrong place, wrong time. Confined within your mind and these voices inside your head. But then, you start to see, think and feel the same storyline, but this time you're not the poor swine, and your inner bitch is out of her ditch, and your negative mold is starting to behold a new found wisdom. So back to the woods, please. I arrived. To my surprise, two naked gods stood there with their fishing rods. But with my attention to be aware still there, but with a quick stare. I left them there, only to be joined by one. Though he was a beauty on the eyes, that was not the story we wanted to arise, so remained apart but shared. The silence of the dark. A staining mark. The heavy red was waiting, unexpectedly in me, was about to teach me a new way to be. By the time it trickled to my knee, I needed help. Moss, you're going to be the boss, filling my pants just to ensure no romance, and with a few escaping ants, 2 gardens were combined. With my mind not really at ease, I started to run back through the trees, desperate to feel the breeze, as my brace to embrace the natural elements was a bit of a human disgrace. I made my way back to the rocks with a naked male made his trail upstream. I started to lean into the stream, but unable to hide that my pants were alive. I dived back into the oaks, where the wood smokes held my hand. Sorry, did I forget to mention that this soil is not bland but alive beyond my comprehension? Did I even mention the invisible? Well, some can see when they're left long enough to be. Just your response. Go! Yes! Oh, and breathe. And release. Yes. Do I have time for one more? Okay, one more. The river runs red. Not that time. Not that time. Different time. Oh no, now this feels inappropriate. Okay. New energy, fresh start. The river runs red. For those already dead, and my heart beats from the teachings of each whose life has passed. Life lasts not long, and for each one wrongly dead, I hope that thread that has no end is cut. For one man might call her a slut, and the other one wants to give her a fuck, and you have just given a tut to something your senses receive and then you perceive. Believe it to be true So to you, it is. To others, jizz. A misunderstanding from simply two different handlings. So where does that "it's you, it's your fault" start? Already, I have missed a part. But they are just box projections of imperfections that can lead to flexions. Stop. Look at your inner directions, but wait. Before you start to contemplate this layered mind cake, be awake and see that the mind too can flake. Start with compassion for yourself. Start to fashion this in thought. You would have thought they would have taught us this, but then who are they, and maybe they feel led astray? Can I say that war starts in mind, complicatedly entwined, and you've just signed on the dotted line, and even if you break your spine, your words are on that line. Whether it's displacement of race, ownership of place, face-to-face, or just an untied shoelace, that can all create a heat somewhere. And without care, it is hard to bear. I swear pain is relevant to each, some beyond my reach of knowing. But by showing myself love, I'm not expecting it all from above, and I won't put on a shiny glove without thinking, where have you come from? For most, the process is long, and even the tiniest of thongs have their own song. I'm not about to claim that pants are to blame for war, but it's hard to draw a clear frame, and what is my part to play? I want to say I know that I am doing right. But yesterday, I took my flight home. I traveled alone, didn't take out a loan or have an expensive cologne, and I never felt more guided. But whilst I was there, plates collided. Land divided, slided from a pitter-patter to a giant crack. Mother Nature's broken back and the slats fell down. She frowned upon this drowned compound and took back her ownership. Japan whipped beyond our belief. And in Burma, people's grief didn't even reach the border because they had a military order. That is man-fucking slaughter. And if that was your daughter, would you stand in silence because you do not have a license to speak? You are weak, bleak, and part of the meek. No, it is time to speak. I do not have a definitive wrong or right, but I am prepared to peacefully hold tight for what I believe, because soon all our bodies will leave, be grieved, and the land that we received will be retrieved. People will then claim, I think you'll find that's actually ours. That's fine, because I'm just going to take the stars and Mars and put them in aluminium bars, set my arse and let a mechanical team do my task. What are the grars? It's not going to last long. Look at that planet over there. Go on, give it a stare. Oh, he used to live there. How wonderfully rare. Do you care? But then, how dare I judge them? For their actions are tiny fractions of me, and if it was meant to be that we all held hands and exclaimed into the rain, I am a free man, would that become a normality? And the rest of the world seemed like some sort of insanity. A Calamity Jane stood there, knee-deep in rain, trying to explain that she felt bruised and confused by a society, too afraid to lose what she never really had. But how could she win if she was not wafer thin with a perfect grin and her whim pinned across newspapers with inaccurate datas? See you later, maters. What a bitch! Let's ditch out star right away. What'd you say, Shantae? Hey? I don't know how to play this game. But then, isn't the whole world a little bit of a game? And can anybody really explain the rules? It is tools that we are sisters and brothers of this earth. And that is not a curse, and this is not my verse. It's been said many times before. I'm just trying to find the door to my own law, and there is no blissful ending to this. Because we were not pissed up at the start. There's parts of reality and perceptions of insanity and thoughts in mind, and even in the most beautiful of all of our divines. We're all still a little bit blind, but that is fine because we're learning in time. So why not try to learn to be heartfelt, kind? Thank you.